What's up, y'all? It's Shuffle, and today's video is talking about my thoughts on the new relationship slash affinity change to Darkest Dungeon 2, the overhaul, the rework, whatever you want to call it, that we've been pretty much waiting for about a year at this point. People are pretty unhappy with the old system almost right away, and so a lot of other things happened in the game. First, there were, a new area was added. There was the progression overhaul, which arguably was as important or more important in many ways than this. And this did get a couple tweaks before we got to this point, but now we are finally at the Affinity rework. And I streamed for almost 10 hours today. I did 2 full runs to really get a lot of time with it, and people who are watching seem to enjoy it. A lot of the people who have played it seem to enjoy it, and I got a lot of questions that were just the same question, but I understand people are asking it, and it was, what do you think about it? So that's what this video is, and my quick and easy but also not helpful response to that question is it's fun. Like that's it. And we'll go through all the examples. I'll show you what it looks like and stuff, but it's hard to kind of quantify and qualify, if that even applies as a way to explain it, but it's very hard to actually describe. And the biggest reason for that is that the old system was just so unfun at this point. Like, I played it for over 500 hours. I know a lot of people put a lot of hours into it too, and it's fun, and it's just so good to see the old system go. So this is the meltdown screen. I didn't get a resolute, but I saw some people in Discord had resolute, so it looks like this, but it's more positive, more heroic and stuff. But I didn't realize how hard these meltdown pictures go too. Like, one of the things that we'll talk about is the presentation in this system seems very, very extra, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. When it was talked about that we were going to get this, way back when, I'm not talking about yesterday or whatever, but when they said that they're going to fix the affinity system, it was really hard to kind of visualize what it would look like. Some people like Thick had some pretty good ideas about it being like a point bucket for the pips, so when it hits a certain point, it goes either way. And I think a lot of people, I think Thick got the closest, but I know a lot of people kind of had a similar idea, and so it ended up going that way. So mechanically, it's actually not that much different. It is different enough. Like, in terms of how it actually works, it's not really that different. You still build, yellow pips and get rid of the blue ones. And, well, it's all one color, whatever. It goes up and down, but I'll show you that. Actually, I probably should find a picture of that. I'll find one in a minute, but yeah. So the things that have changed are how it mechanically operates, like what the effects do, how often they go off, what it even looks like. So before, on the old system, when you hit a meltdown, it'd be really zoomed out. It'd be like your whole party, and it would just kind of like spotlight the person, and then they'd look at the screen and say TikTok or something, and the meltdown would happen. Now you get this. They are having an existential crisis when this happens, and it looks really good. Like, we got new animation on the models, the sound effect is there, and it's not always guaranteed if you are going to meltdown. I don't know what the chance is yet. We're still waiting on some data miners to find the info, but it's a lot like Virtue and Affliction, which the old system still kind of was, but the new system is kind of closer to that. I'm sure a lot of people are happy with that, but meltdowns and resolutes aren't permanent effects. It's not like a Virtue or an Affliction in the first game where you are consistently and constantly doing something every turn because you have this condition. Instead, it's you hit resolute and that's it. It goes, like, the thing happens, it goes away. Hit meltdown, you drop your stress, you lose your pips, you get your quirk sometimes, and it's done. That's it. There's no ongoing thing. It's cool. It's good. And so we're going to look at how it works. I'll talk about how I feel about it. And the first point that I have written down here is that it is better than the old system. I don't know if that's new car smell or what, but I think anything is better than the old system at this point, and it's good enough, you know, at least now. How's it going to feel in a couple hundred hours? Probably still better than the old system. I cannot see this being hated more than what we had before. But it'll be interesting to read who feels that way. So I'm going to be looking forward to Reddit and Red Hook's Discord in the coming days to see what people are saying. And yeah. So the other really cool thing about it is it takes less screen time. We'll show it here. I got all my muted Twitch clips ready. Thank you to Xficult for doing these, because like they clipped a bunch. Chad actually clipped a few. I clipped some too, but it's really helpful because I was done streaming. I just went through my clips and I was able to pull a lot of these up. And but you see look how quick this is. I'm not going to stop it this time. Let's see, attack, and then hopeful, and it's over. And I think I look at the buff too, right? No? Come on, Chef, look at the buff. There it is. So look at this buff. Part of this is withstand from leper. So all of these top ones being 25 extra resist. That's withstand. These are all 50. And then the turn start block is, what is it? That's also withstand. But this other stuff like debuff res, death blow res, 50 dot res, some move res, stun res, disease res. All of this is from hopeful, and it's for 3 turns. This is gonna have to get nerfed, and that's, I don't want to like call for nerfs day one, but it is experimental, right? So I guess that makes sense. This is very strong. The fact that it's just so much, like a random amount, like 3 turns will last for a long portion of most encounters that aren't bosses. So like any regular fight, some bosses even go that quick. So it's like, it's a lot of stats for, I don't know, minimal work. I don't want to say minimal work. Like you have to do the work to get the relationship up, but the acquisition of pips is pretty difficult. You start at 10 and you go up to 20 or down to 0. And the higher you are, the more likely you are to get a positive, and the lower you are, the more likely you are to get a negative. Although either way, you can still get positive or negative, it sounds like. Because I remember someone came into the chat room and they said that they had 18 out of 20 pips. So they were in like, you know, deep positive range, and they still got a negative. I don't know what those chances are, but someone guessed it might be 5%. So it's like 5%, you know, going up and then 5% going down, because it's a scale of 20, so up to 100. That would make sense, but we'll have to see. We really need to get the numbers on that. But hopeful, I saw it do this, and I saw it heal like a couple stress. That's all I've seen it do. And then respectful, I've seen a lot of combo attacks, and I think it changes your blessed skill, as you can see down here. So the blessed skills are, my camera's still in the way at this point, but the blessed skills are pretty cool. It's just a little effect. It'll be like, you know, plus dodge or plus strength or minus stress and stuff. And when you get your relationship to proc, you either get a blessed skill if it's positive or a cursed one if it's negative. And I have a clip of the cursed one coming up. And so the blessed ones, you don't have to use them. You know, it's optional still, which is nice. But what I do like is that it encourages experimentation within the system. So it's like, if you never run, you know, disorienting blast, that was one of my blessed skills on Plague Doctor. You know, if you never run disorienting blast, well, now you get to. It's like, you know, if it dazes, it weakens, it shuffles, that's cool. But also, what if it healed stress? Okay, yeah, that's good enough, you know. And so it'll make you probably use things you haven't used before. And on the flip side, the cursed ones are manageable enough to where they're not as frustrating as the previous system. And you can also play around the weaknesses, or again, it, you know, encourages you to experiment a little bit. But the curse skills are locked on your bar. I don't think there's anything else in this clip. People usually clip these at like, you know, 30 seconds. So let's slow it down. Go down to 25 speed. All right, it was right here, right? Okay. Let's say 25. It's 0.25% speed. Well, it looks cool. Hi, Echo. I didn't know it had that little explosion at the end. This is what I'm saying, though. It's so extra. But, like, in the best way possible. Oh, kitty. So, what else do we have? The counterattack. This is respectful, so I freeze framed it right here. But, same thing. These resolve very quickly. They're flashy. They're much more fun to look at than, you know, the previous ones. And so, I guess even if you're not like a super nerd about this game like I am, you know, I feel like this is just more visually appealing. Like, most people are probably going to get excited seeing that. I did, like the first time I saw it. You know, the backgrounds are different. The effects are cool. You feel really good about them. And I think the other thing that's really good too is that since the negatives aren't, like, they're still punishing and they're still bad, but they're not as just hectic and destructive as they were in the old system. So it's like it does this other thing too, where you get the good relationships and everything feels good. You know, it looks cool, you feel good, you feel heroic, feel powerful and stuff. And then when you get the negative ones, it doesn't really feel bad. So it's not in your face as much, you know. The good ones are in your face the whole time. So it's cool. So it brings back a lot of tension. They resolve quickly. It takes up way less screen time. The random act outs don't happen pretty much ever. And the other thing too is, like, some of your moves that you choose to use when you're highlighting a teammate, it'll show you if the pips go up and down and for who. So you can really be tactical about what you're doing and plan ahead. So sometimes it'll be like, yeah, I'll take a suboptimal move here to get pips, which I did several times. Or it'll be, you know, I don't, like, you'll heal someone and someone else will be mad about it, but instead of just blocking you from using the heal for like the entire turn and you have to do something else, it's more just like, can I take the pips? Like, can I take the pip hit for this? Echo, come here. Oh, he's sleeping all day. Starting to wake up. So it's fun in that way. And where's another one? Okay. So also these, dude, this trinket, I gotta like I'll get a picture and I'll put it up on screen after, because I'm, you know, live recording this. But the apron, and I forgot to talk about these. I gotta talk about these later. No, I'll do it now. The apron is a really cool trinket. So I think Sammy had a direct hand in helping these get made. So thank you, Sammy. But the apron is like, if you, sorry, my voice is kind of weak. I've been streaming for almost 10 hours, but yeah. If you have a damage over time effect, so bleed, blight, burn, it will cure it at the end of the turn and it'll give you regeneration. So you're essentially dot immune. It turns all of your dots into healing. It's really freaking good. And there's a couple other factors or things on it where it's like, if you're holding a restorative item, so like a healing salve, you heal more from skills, but overall you have like less healing received. So you have to make sure you kind of set it up. And the other one is a spiked hat, spiked skull cap or something that's really good for bleed characters. That feels like a flagellant trinket, but he's not here. And that heart trinket comes from academic studies. It's 33% chance to give you 2 regeneration, and then 66% chance, I think, to bleed you. And that trinket sucks. It sucks, unless I guess you're bleed immune or something. With this apron, it essentially just turns it into healing, so you have extra healing off of that, and it's really cool. It is really cool. So what I do like is that the bless and curse skills, the new system and stuff, it's more tactical, since it's not all just random occurrences anymore when you're in battle that you have zero control over. I mean, there's still random occurrences, but you have total control of them now. You can see what's going to happen. He always feels like he wants to go, and then he just doesn't go. You know. But yeah. So you just have more control over it, and it's really nice. Let's see. Okay, and then the embark screen. This looks really good. I was so excited. Like every single one of these, I just stopped and looked at for, you know, a time when, look at this. Look at how cool this is, right? This is the mountain. So no spoilers. Don't worry about that. But yeah, with this, like this screen is new. It looks so good. And that's what I've been saying. Like a lot of us have, you know, a lot of issues with the game, and in terms of a lot of the gameplay mechanics and the balance and stuff, that's the hard stuff to get right. And I really don't, I'm so sorry to just like split the camp that way, because the art team is freaking crushing it, dude. Like they didn't have to do this. They didn't have to make this screen, and they did. You know, your heroes come out of the inn with the wagon and they just stand there. The wind blows and you can see, you know, their clothes moving. And the environment's there. I think the mountain gets progressively closer until you get to the top. It's just so nice, man. Like these are wallpapers at this point. And then you get these, you know, relationship reveals up here. So we'll click a couple. I got 3. I think this whole team is positive at this point, but we'll see. Actually, Grave Robber might not be. Okay, so I know I'm just sitting here looking at it. Okay. Click. Hateful. So you see here with the curse skills, unlike the bless skills, which you can choose to put on or off, these cursed ones are on your bar. You cannot do anything about it. They're there. So either you choose to work with the downside, or you just use something else. And when you have one bad relationship, it's actually not that big of an issue. But when you have 2 or 3, it starts to get hard, because that's the majority of your bar being taken up at that point, at least at 3. But, you know, can you play with 3 skills that, you know, don't have huge downsides to other people, right? Like the curse ones? It's tough. It is actually tough for a few reasons, because since you have to use the cursed ones, it can go antithetical to your build. It can also be something you don't have mastered. In this case, you know, revenge for me, I don't have that mastered. Or it could just be something you don't want to use, and you have to give up something else. Like, what if you need all 5 of your skills? You know, Plague Doctor is one of those characters. Man at Arms is another one that really like to have all of their buttons available. And so you may not. It's tough, but it's cool. It's fun to play around. You can see here, it tells you exactly what's going to happen. So between the two of them, if you use Revenge on Leper, you will give this other person vulnerable. And you can play around these. It's scary at first. They look bad. I think one of them gives stress, like +1 stress. But there's another one that's pretty nasty. It's vulnerable, but also taunt. But then again, you can still play around it, because, you know, maybe you give your tank taunt by using a negative skill when they don't have access to taunt that turn, or they're too slow. You know, you can still make plays with it, which is really cool. It's very smart. I like it. You know, it makes you feel smart. It rewards you for understanding the game. And that could not be better to me, right? And so, what is it? The other thing too is, if you understand how the enemies work, sometimes, like I had someone in rank 4 when I was fighting the cultists, like the evangelists, and that's all that was alive. So it's like, I don't care if I give my person a rank 4 taunt, because those enemies cannot hit that person in the back. So it didn't matter at that point. As long as you're paying attention, it will open you up to new skills to use, new playstyles to try, and also kind of force you to think about how the the enemies operate, because now you have to really consider what you have and see if the negatives are actually that big of a deal for you. Let's see the next one. See, there's that taunt and vuln, and then we get a positive. Perfect. We get to see everything. And so this here, Emboldening Vapors, really an okay move on its own. Got a cooldown, upgrade, it gives speed and stuff like that. And now it heals the other person. And Solemnity is going to get the same thing, so they mirror each other. So it's like Solemn heals Leper, and then Stress heals Plague Doctor. That's really cool. And also, you start thinking about other possibilities like paths. So if you have Physician, you get the extra strength token on top of the first one. So it's really efficient in terms of turns. And it's like, would you use a skill that gives someone else 2 strength, speed, and stress heals? That sounds kind of good, you know? Presumably, Ounce of Prevention can stress heal someone else now. Lots of interesting things can happen. So overall, I like it a lot. I'm really enjoying it. And here's a curse skill in action. You see here, it's on the bar. So it's like, I had this curse when I started this run, and I was stuck with it. And I was like, you know what, I'll try it this turn, because I got the double unchecked power. And in true occultist fashion, since he's aspirant, it gets resisted. The malediction is very good. Oh, hold up. Oh, it played. The sound played. I thought I had that one muted. But yeah. Really cool. By really cool, I mean not cool. Malediction sucks. But yeah. So it's fun. I'm really excited to see how it goes for the next, few weeks, because it's going to be on experimental till next January. So the Red Hook peeps are taking vacation, it sounds like, and they definitely deserve it after this. So lots of good stuff. And let's see, let me take a sec to think if I have anything else. Maybe I don't have anything more for the relationship system itself, but a lot of items got overhauled. I shouldn't say overhauled, but tweaked to match the new system. Some quirks got changed, like Sunny Disposition, I think, gives positive relationship chance. So there are a few things that affected now. It's probably too many to list. All right, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you're thinking down below. Let me know if you're enjoying the new system. Come drop into a Twitch stream. We're streaming a lot over the next couple weeks. Might take some time off for the holiday, but such is life. And yeah, good update. Now let's get some heroes. Thanks for watching. I said that. See ya.